In 79 CE, during the Emperor Titus's rule, the Roman Empire experienced a catastrophic natural disaster when Mount Vesuvius erupted, burying the cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum. 1 year later, Rome itself was struck by a devastating fire that burned for 3 days and destroyed many public buildings. Soon after, Emperor Titus died of a fever, and Rome's recovery was left to his younger brother, Domitian.
When Domitian came to the throne, not everybody viewed him in the same way. I think the people were perfectly fine with Domitian because he was rebuilding Rome after this terrible fire that had swept through the center of the city. The Praetorian Guard also liked him enormously and did so for certainly the first part of Domitian's reign. The Senate hated him. He refused to give the Senate the level of power that they had, even though that was relatively limited. He basically viewed himself as an absolute ruler, insisted on being referred to as Lord and God, Dominus et Deus. At the beginning of his reign, the economy was very stable, so the entire city of Rome is rebuilt during the reign of Domitian because so much of it had been destroyed in that fire in 80 AD. And one sees, at least at the beginning, a stronger economy in that Domitian revalued the Roman currency, increasing the percentage of silver in the denarius, the silver coin that the Romans used. But over time, the treasury began to be depleted because of Domitian's enormous building program, again, without additional money coming in from the conquests. Our best evidence for his personality comes from the writer Suetonius, who wrote a chapter on Domitian's life. And he describes him as a very haughty, arrogant man who was thoroughly unpleasant and who was an absolute dictator, who insisted upon being addressed as Lord and God, who had no tolerance for the Senate as a democratic institution, putting the senators to death whenever they disagreed with something that he had done or when he thought that they were plotting his overthrow. He apparently was very sensitive about the baldness, premature baldness that he had. So we don't know that he was doing comb-overs, but he was certainly wearing wigs, at least according to Suetonius. So we don't know exactly how the assassination plans developed. Certainly the Senate was the linchpin for this program. I mean, they hated him, and he had executed 20 members of the Senate, so you can imagine they were anxious to get rid of him as fast as they possibly could. The Praetorian Guard, the Imperial Guard, had to be brought into the preparations because no one could have gotten to Domitian if the Guard hadn't been co-opted into this program. And there were various servants in the palace who reportedly were also brought into it. So in 96 AD, they carried out their plan, and Domitian died of multiple stab wounds. And there were no demonstrations in the street following the death. The block that we have in the center of the Roman gallery originally formed part of a larger monument, which was probably an equestrian statue of the Emperor Domitian. So it would have shown Domitian on horseback, and it would have been set up by the people of Pozzuoli to thank Domitian for having spent funds on road maintenance or road improvement or road building. That's the most likely explanation for it. And so there was a monumental inscription that praised Domitian over the course of many lines, giving all of his titles and recording thanks from the people of Pozzuoli. And after Domitian was assassinated in 96, the Senate quickly met. I mean, the Senate obviously hated him, so they decreed a damnatio memoriae, a damnation of memory. And in that decree, they stipulated that the name of Domitian should be erased from every monument where it had appeared, and the image of Domitian should be erased from every monument where it had appeared. So as I mentioned, the defaced side of this monument, the side with the battered inscription of Domitian, is on display in the Forum for a few years, so that people can see that the Senate can see that the people of Pozzuoli complied with the senatorial decree mandating the erasure of Domitian's name. And then it seems as if they realize that this is a kind of scar in the center of the city that they can dispense with. So they turn the stone around. This side was originally the back of the monument. It would now become the front. And rather than having an inscription, it will receive a relief.